Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Almighty Allah, the entirely merciful and especially merciful. Dear viewers across the planet, I greet you. I greet you with this greeting of peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Ameen. Peace be with you. Dear viewers, again and again, as perhaps you have noticed that we do our best to begin teaching people the right thing, how to greet each other, to begin our episode with peace. And you notice that we end this episode and similar episodes by peace. We are doing our best to spread peace and this spirit of peace across the planet. We want everyone in this world, everyone, no exception, to enjoy peace in this world. We are just doing it by words, by greetings, by our speeches, by our talk. And this is the best way to spread it in the entire world. I don't know, it's not costly. It does not cost people a lot to do that. But if we do that, if we make it a common greeting in the entire world, we are not going to lose anything. Rather, you may see the positive impacts of this spread of greetings in the entire world. And we seek the support from the creator of this universe, whose name is Allah. We seek His support to give us the power and the ability to spread this everywhere. Welcome to this program. Welcome to Treasures from the Holy Quran. What I said is one of the treasures in the Holy Quran. You'll find it here. It doesn't cost you anything. You just need to think of it, reflect upon it, try to understand it, and try to implement it and share it with others, hoping inshallah, to make this kind of cooperation that we are lacking is our target, is our goal. We want to benefit every human being in this entire world by helping them know the treasures of this Quran, the treasures that they were away from us. We spend a lot of our lives, great portions of our lives away from the true knowledge that everybody needs to know. If not to master, at least to know it. Yeah? And we again and again ask Allah to get support. One of the key words in the Holy Quran to get the benefit, to achieve higher level of benefit, higher level of understanding of the Quran is to keep this word vivid in our mind. It's called tadabbur, reflection, thinking deeper and deeper and deeper and reflect. And even in education, recently they talk about the reflective teacher, the reflective principal, the reflective student, the one who reflects. What am I doing? What is going on? What's there? It's not just the superficial knowledge that you get. You need to go a little bit higher and higher and higher. We will focus on the word tadabbur, reflection. Tadabbur. This I will focus on two verses in the Quran that use the word tadabbur, and we will see some of the benefits of this. And here in the first verse, it's chapter number 4, ayah number 82. One of the benefits of making tadabbur, it will give us the ability to distinguish the authentic from the non-authentic, the genuine from the non-genuine. You know that This is the true thing that you are looking for, or this is the fake and the false thing. When you practice, when you exercise this issue of reflection, you will acquire this quality. And everybody does. I want to be able to distinguish the falsehood from the non-falsehood. I can tell you that there, alhamdulillah, many people now, they label themselves Muslims, believers, they have this quality, the ability. You get someone, or you give them some material, and they would be able to judge this material, and they would tell you that this is false and this is true. This is false and this is true. They acquire the ability of distinguishing the truth from the falsehood. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Ayah number 82, chapter number 4. أفلا يتدبرون القرآن ولو كان من عند غير الله لوجدوا فيه اختلافا كثيرا أو اختلافا كبيرا استغفر الله العظيم لوجدوا فيه اختلافا كبيرا. Correction. So here tells you the meaning of, don't they reflect upon the Quran? And if they do reflect upon the Quran, they will discover that had it been from any source other than Allah, they would have seen in it, they would have seen in the Quran a lot of contradictions and discrepancies and disagreements. So this is one benefit of reflecting upon the Quran. You know that the way when you reflect upon the verses of the Quran and your level of understanding and your level of reflection, you go to deeper and deeper than the superficial thing that you can get from the superficial knowledge. And we have the support for us, which is the Ahlul Dhikri. We have the experts among us. They are everywhere. They can access them just by using the tools that we have. Using the internet, you can access those people of expertise, and by asking them questions, you will definitely know. They will give you the guidelines where to find contradiction in the Quran. If there is, of course there is not. But you need to do the work. You need to be an expert. You need to benefit from all these sources around you. Expertise, again, I highlight the word expertise, not people with superficial knowledge. No, you need to make search and research and research. And this kind of thing, when you do it, you acquire this status, inshallah. You will be able to distinguish the truth from the falsehood. Finally, you will come to this conclusion. This book is about nothing but the truth. All of it. From Al-Fatiha, the opening, until the last two words, Al-Jinnati wan-Nas, you will discover that all of this is the truth. Otherwise, you can see the differences and the contradictions. And as we hear this complaint about the other books, all other books in the entire world, all of them, I say no exception, all of them have these contradictions, and these discrepancies. You take any book and you make this kind of a study, and you will be able, even without going back to the people of expertise, you will find the contradictions, and you will find the suspicious things, the doubts, and they will throw doubts in your heart. All of them, no exception. Even the most pure scientific facts, and you will find the change in them and the contradictions in them. The majority of these books are human. Only few books that are called divine, that had been distorted, they are no longer divine. So this is one benefit when we get from reflection. The other benefit comes in this ayah number 24, chapter number 47, ayah number 24. It says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم أفلا يتدبرون القرآن أم على قلوب أقفالها. Do not they reflect upon the Quran? Or do they have locks, padlocks on their hearts? Now we can see that this is even addressing sincerely more people, more Muslims. The Muslims, the people who say that we love the Quran and we implement the Quran, and they try to make a show of that. Don't they reflect upon the Quran? In other words, if you do not reflect upon the Quran, if you read it, browse it, and read it as if you are reading fiction or a story or some news or like any other book, this is not what is needed. This does not refer to reflection. What is needed when you read reflection is deep reflection and deep understanding. You're not dealing with the Quran as if you are dealing with any other book in the entire world. Totally different. If you don't do this, know that there are some locks on your heart. Your heart is locked. It's not open to receive. You are not receiving the Quran well. You are not receiving the words of Allah properly. There's something wrong with your heart, and you need to open up your heart. How can we do that? It's a very difficult question, but this answer is you open up your heart with gradual reflection. When you read the Quran and reflect upon it, and you get the experience that it is addressing you. So you need to open up your heart. You need to be with full attention when you read and listen to verses from the Quran. When you reach this level, and you cannot reach this level just spontaneously. It requires time. And it requires, before time, it requires sincerely. And it requires your focus on this beautiful meaning, that this is the book of your Creator. And this is the book that has been preserved for you. And this is the book that addresses you. It's not for somebody else. When you deal with it as the companions of our beloved Prophet ﷺ dealt with it, it's one ayah would make people even faint as a result of its impact on their hearts and minds. When they start reflecting, هل أتاك حديث الغاشية? Have you received the news of the enveloper of the day of judgment? Have you heard about this news? Do you know that it will happen? This day that we are talking about is going to happen. For sure it's going to happen. Yet, no impact on you. Aren't you scared? Aren't you afraid when you remember the sins and the faults and the mistakes that you did? Aren't you preparing yourself for that by asking Allah continuously, if possible, or at least regularly? If you cannot continuously do that, aren't you asking Allah to forgive you, to erase these sins? Aren't you ready to make good deeds in order to erase or to get your sins wiped out and erased from your documents? Of course you are. If not, there is a problem and you need to deal with it. And as I said, simple reading first. And then second step is a level of understanding. You got it, you understood it, you heard it, your parents explained it to you, or the people around you explained it to you, or you yourself became qualified to access, this is another higher level, to access the right sources, to read this source and that source and verify this and verify this. And all the time you have, alhamdulillah, beside us available are the scholars of who have this expertise. فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. If you don't know, don't sit silent like this without doing anything. Don't be passive. You have to do little bit extra effort. And this effort can be represented in asking those expert people. Those people with this expertise will help you and will verify things to you. If you don't do that, you have a problem and you need to deal with it. I said how we deal with it. So these are steps. So keep in mind that when you deal with this book, it's a different book. It's a book of the Creator. It's a book of Allah. It's not like any other thing. But then people don't have they have not reached the level of differentiating between this book and all the other sources that are available here. Look at those funny magazines or funny newspapers or funny sources in the media. Wherever you go, you find them. You don't get any solid knowledge. If you want to get solid knowledge and solid information and true information, if you are looking for the truth, you have to have this ready heart and this mind ready to perceive the truth. So you need to prepare yourself, to plan yourself. Otherwise, we or you will be in trouble. Anyone who keeps away from doing this for a long time, even he can go back to the old. And this requires a momentum that all the time motivates you to be on this level. And we do thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us for this kind of knowledge. And we do ask Allah to give us support until we die and we meet Him on the Day of Judgment. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.